Good morning. It's August 12th, 2024, in our metronome. Metronome is based on 12 and 24. It's base. It's kind of like bits and bytes, 4 and 4, as a different way to look at it. It's a mathematical situation that equals how we perceive the universe, the metronome. We calibrate accordingly with our 24-hour day. And it turns out that the Bible says that the world was created in 7 days. And Indigo Angel is with her sister. I think they went out and they're going to be on a kayak. So we'll get to them likely in this video, but I want to do a summary of the JFK assassination. There's a gentleman that put a YouTube video out only 3 weeks ago in the form of an investigative documentary, and I'm a little bit surprised that he hasn't done a lot of research into what actually happened. So reincarnation means born again, and after people die, they either come back here or they don't. It appears that JFK has stayed in the inner life, and there's been people who have channeled him. But I want to talk about his son and some of the details surrounding the assassination that we know to be the case. So what I'll do is I'll play this video a couple of minutes at a time, and then we'll either talk about or look at supporting truth as to where we're at right now. And the fact that this reporter has not included, unless his original version of this is way the hell old and he reposted 3 weeks ago, I'm a little surprised at the lack of effort to find out contemporary information that's been learned about that shooting. First of all, we know that on the Sumerian tablets, which predate the Bible, there are characters in effigy, thousands of tablets. The prominent figures are Anu, Enlil, and Enki. Enki and Enlil are stepbrothers. They're half-brothers. Now you have to go analogically here to comprehend what's going on. So Daddy Anu remains the daddy, and he's got a natural born son that's the product of intercourse from way the hell back. His name was Enki on Nibiru. That's a planet that missed the opportunity to disappear in Sirius C, as Gamma. As planets wake up and the energy increases, it appears the power goes up. This planet is about to move. It is moving. It's a window from 3rd to 4th density. That's heartfelt love. And there are ancient prophecies in the Aztec and the Hopi and the Indians that talk about the number of suns that have been generated. The 5th sun, the 6th sun, all true based upon their knowledge and history. And the meanings of those titles tends to differ because of the numerics. The 5th sun has to do with the planets themselves notching up our sun and subordinated planets in our solar system. The 6th sun is more mathematical and calibrates to 75,000 years ago in Lemuria, and hits from Lemuria to Atlantis to now. So Maya's got a calendar that accounts for all this. If you look at the lunar calendar, 28 days, you can do math on that. If you use the Mayan calendar and the Hob with a 360 plus 5 day-to-day calculation, you get 365 days. But the math on our life is going to be 6 days a week times 3 weeks per month times 20 months. And then 5 lazy days of summer. As we notch up, it's an entitlement. As we transform the planet, we work, we share, we sleep, we astral travel, we really travel. A bunch of people are going to take off on the rapture because they're not staying here on this surface. They'll go with Sananda and heal up on the ultimate cruise. Come back here hundreds of years from now, I guess. They'll be allowed to come back in body, but we're the ones taking back the surface. If you hear my voice and you're staying here. I was Billy the Kid. That was Margaret Clitheroe. I have high self-awareness, which I've had since the day it was granted in August 2021. And it turns out I've been a saint and a holy person. Now, I'm normal. I'm a rogue. I've done shit you haven't done, viewer. Trust me. Don't call me an altar boy because I wasn't one in this life. I was Roman Catholic. I liked going to church, just like JFK. Didn't like it, but I went. And before I left home on Long Island, 1981, I stopped off at my church and said a prayer and said, "Be with me, please, because I'm leaving." And took off to Fort Huachuca, my old stomping grounds. I met the guy that shot me. I didn't know any of this then. He was my friend. It's low-hanging fruit for our divine inheritance. It's all been pre-planned so that we could be stunned. So having said all that, I'll say this. Let's watch some John Fitzgerald Kennedy footage and see if we can discern what truth is so we get some closure. Now, before I kick this off, I'd like to explain something else about these. They're good for you. Nicotine's good for you. The Surgeon General warns against nicotine being addictive. Meanwhile, it's the man-made additives and chemistry and carcinogens that they've been putting in cigarettes for before the Declaration of Independence was signed, I would say. I don't know when the invention of the proper spray chemicals were to put on the tobacco and then dry them out to sell them as taxable products. But they did it, and it's in Marlboro and Winston and Camel and every fucking pack of cigarettes you see on your shelf when you go to smoke. A lot of people quit. Good for them. I went back to smoking again because it cures mental disease like Alzheimer's and things like that from the nicotine. Nicotine's good for you. If you have a 90-year-old grandmother or a 75-year-old that's lost their mind, fill up a pipe with tobacco and let them sit out on the porch and smoke it. Or find the food additive portion with nicotine in it and put it in food. That's the truth. American Spirit, brand called AURA, Signal. All Indian brands, and they're good. So here's the lead off to this investigative summary on JFK. So I'm going to play a couple of minutes without talking, and then I'll stop and we'll cover whatever needs to be covered given what was said.
Over 60 years later, we're still obsessed with John F. Kennedy's assassination, and with good reason. Here are just some of the bizarre facts that have us still wondering what really happened in Dallas that day. When historians call Lee Harvey Oswald enigmatic, they're severely underplaying just how mysterious he was. There's a lot we don't know about the 20th century's most infamous assassin. We don't know why he did it, and we don't know why he spent the weeks before the assassination hanging out in Mexico City. As Professor T. Jeremy Gunn put it to NPR, back then the city was, quote, the spy capital of the Western Hemisphere. Cuban agents, Soviet moles, and CIA operatives all rubbed shoulders there, and Oswald was among them, raises all sorts of questions.
It's a mystery wrapped in a riddle inside an enigma.
We do know Oswald used his time in Mexico to try and secure a Soviet visa. We don't know why the records of this are all screwed up. The day he visited the Soviet embassy just happens to be the day the CIA's camera wasn't working, so we had no pictures. We once had a recording of a tapped phone call from a guy claiming to be Oswald. The controversial former FBI director J. Edgar Hoover decided it wasn't Oswald's
crossdresser.
So the tape vanished. That's before we get on to the random guys Oswald was with. According to Politico, CIA informers saw Oswald with two young Americans at a party in the city. We still haven't established their identities. All we know is that they spent a few days hanging out with a soon-to-be presidential assassin and then vanished forever. One of the spies in Mexico City at the time of Oswald's visit was June or Jerry Cobb, an Oklahoma girl who turned pro-Castro revolutionary before becoming disgusted with Cuba and turning CIA spy. Cobb was a valuable intelligence asset. Her claims were usually taken seriously. So when she followed up Kennedy's assassination by telling her CIA handlers Oswald had been seen at a Mexico City party where people joked about killing JFK, you better believe the feds listened. The story comes via Politico, and we should say here that its specifics remain shrouded in mystery. Cobb's file is still under lock and key for security reasons.
Lunar module?
So Politico's reporting comes only from related CIA and FBI files. Still, it's fascinating reading. Mexican playwright Elena Garro reported the party to Cobb, saying it was a meeting place for Cuban diplomats. Some were even joking about how useful it'd be if Kennedy was killed. Garro's information was so shocking that the FBI interviewed her in 1964. But Cobb's intel was disparaged by the CIA, and no follow-up action seems to have been taken. No evidence connecting the assassination to Cuba or the Soviets.
Who was running the CIA then?
Even after the opening of the KGB files. Still, it does make you wonder what exactly happened at that party and just what Oswald was doing there. Perhaps it...
Get NFL Sunday Ticket and YouTube TV.
NFL Sunday Ticket. Your kickoff. So let's catch up about Lee Harvey Oswald. 3 names. You had him as a candidate for the hit, but he was a patsy. He had a high-powered rifle. He was up in that book depository, and he took a shot. And then he tried to get away, like the guy that shot Lincoln, with 3 names, and they caught up to him. And Jack Ruby shot him. So Jack got put in jail. But the facts are that in the days leading up to the assassination, say 3 days, for I don't know exactly how many, but Lee Harvey Oswald was obviously on the grounds there because he was at the book depository. Well, another individual was brought in as a part of the hit team. I'm going to show you him. His name was James Files. He was the guy on the grassy knoll who used a special revolver and blew Kennedy's head off. He said he visually observed George H.W. Bush in the distance, that Lee Harvey Oswald had shown him the area. He came in, they met, and not one word about an assassination was discussed. It's where's the good ham sandwiches? What do you guys do around here for fun? Easy stuff. Nobody telling anybody to each other what was going to happen. James Files recounted that in an interview with Michael Jaco and the person who brought him in to speak with Jaco, which you'll see. His name was James Files. So again, he was on the grassy knoll, and he blew Kennedy's head off with a special revolver that he'd used before, and he said this was not a difficult job. He was actually a test tube baby, an Italian mafioso that was created with a soul in order to do that. He speaks very plainly about it. He's got a woman in his life who helps him to be grounded and explain things. And he doesn't appear to have too guilty of a conscience because that's how he rolls. However, he is admitting it in truth. As though he could be arrested if somebody wanted to. I don't know if there's statute of limitations, or I don't think he needs, like, prison would not rehabilitate him. So why waste the money? That's what we do. We take people and we put them in prison. Most of them are innocent, and we're throwing shit tons into building jails and incarcerating people with our fucked up legal system that has lousy syntax. So yeah, 11/22 in 63. was the date chosen for him to go down. In the months leading up during the administration, Bush wanted to create havoc in Cuba with the Bay of Pigs invasion. The CIA organized that, and it failed. Kennedy didn't back it up, I suppose, like people wanted to, because it wasn't his idea. And when they gave him the pressure about, what are you doing with Cuba, he fucking yawned. I mean, he had Marilyn on the side, he was a homosexual, call him bisexual. He had a lifelong friend. JFK was gay in that light. Now, Jackie Onassis, we'll get to her later, but there's a lot to say there, and we'll speak to the Umbrella Man too when it's covered. But right now, let's stay focused on Lee Harvey Oswald and James Files. I'm going to watch some recorded tape that this guy could have gotten a hold of to include in his video. At a minimum, it could have been speculation. So let's go. I hope you like it. Stand by. Remember, today is 12 August, and on the Mayan calendar, it's 336, towards 360. That was Readiness Group Los Angeles Extended, by the way. All military, points only, special duty, for the 6th Jan event. You better know, Trump handled it. He was William Dennison, so he knew how to work all the shit. He loved Marines. Fucking guy never served a day in his life. Got kicked out of military school, Trump. He's on to eggs. He's going straight in. Man, you better know, Trump handled it. He was William Dennison, so he knew how to work all the shit. He loved Marines. Fucking guy never served a day in his life. Got kicked out of military school, Trump. He's on to eggs. He's going straight in. Guys, look at this Banky. He's the best. Woo. So JoJo is taking phone calls on that other thing. I'm showing you that TV does this. The inversion, like he wants to put Spanky in a pot. It's the other way around. It's a grown white man wanting the taste of the Aborigines. Even when we write shit down. We interrupt our segmentation to present this special programming. Good morning, it's August 12th, 2024.
Hey guys!
Floating.
Namaste, welcome back to the channel.
There's Evie, her older sister.
And,
Hi, I'm in
today
Florida.
we have
It's
a
hot.
Special treat because
I'm gorgeous.
we have come out
I'm a blonde.
to the
I take down
Constant
grid.
on River Springs float
I love
here
this
in
girl.
northern
I love her
Florida
sister. Let's float
to
with them.
The
Woo!
spring aquifers, and
The aquifers.
we
Whoa.
decided to
How about the
do
manatee?
a nice gentle float
Oh,
coming down the river.
yeah. I can't
And
imagine.
we wanted to tune in with all
Imagine
of you.
swimming underwater and staring at that.
Last year I did one of these floats as well.
I'm joking, Pink.
Come here,
Not.
Abby.
Yes, I am.
We gotta hold hands as we float down this river.
Oh, how gorgeous. Two women.
But yeah.
One May
this
is 222, so
pretty.
this is on YouTube. It's her.
Evie can't get on her floaty.
Evie can't get on her floaty.
Yeah.
See, she's from Belgium, so, you know, this whole Florida thing, I mean, come on.
Okay.
She's
it
just
takes
beyond
a moment
wise,
to get situated, because back there
Beyond
is
wise.
the entrance point to get into the springs.
Uh-oh.
And
Where are
then
you going to
it
go?
goes-
YouTube. It's her.
Evie can't get on her floaty.
Evie can't get on her floaty. see, she's from Belgium, so, you know, this whole Florida thing, I mean, come on.
Okay.
She's
it
just
takes
beyond
a lot
wise,
to get
though.
situated, because back there
Beyond
is
wise.
the entrance point to get into the springs.
Uh-oh.
And
Where are
then
you going to go?
Waterfall.
Ah,
And on the other
how
side of
far
this is, like,
down?
the
I
big
can't
pool
wait
where
to
the
see.
kids can
No, well,
swim.
we're not going to
And
watch
you
the
can
whole
get, like, a
thing
diving
because
board, but it's all
we're
natural
on to
spring
JFK
waters.
and David Quigley.
And in northern Florida,
His son.
believe it or not, guys, there's actually
You see, JFK
multiple
Jr. is alive,
spring
as
river
is she
floats
and her older
aquifers.
sister. Isn't it great,
Most
this
of them
golden
you
age?
can't tube in them, like you have to do a kayak. But
Oh, the kayak.
so we chose to do one that you can get on the tube and you can float down, because
We.
getting a kayak is like a whole big deal. Not that I wouldn't do a kayak.
You should have a
but
bamboo one at your house.
it's just a lot
for
more
your
to
pool.
rent the kayak.
She's
and all
scared
that
of
good
hornets
stuff.
and
So,
stuff.
yeah, we just wanted to
But
float because
her older
we love
sister's
the
not.
relaxation and
They
just
probably
the
like
beauty
land on
and
her
the
and
magic
she
of
says,
getting to float
hello,
down a river. It's literally
I'm from
like
Belgium.
just the best thing ever. And
I
then
like
it's so
cinnamon
much,
and
it feels so good.
crystal,
How does this
and
feel?
I love my younger sister because she takes sound grid with Felix Eye. So let's get back to JFK and the Quigley Man. Do you find this stunning? So here's the man you're about to see. Unfortunately, he passed away. That's his lovely wife. He worked at an embassy and was fairly aware of what the hell was going on with chemtrails and different things. Good golfer, solid as a rock. Lovely man to be around. Very wise. Good advice. Helpful. Reasonable. And he's not with us anymore. But we really don't die. And I'm going to tell you in the next parting piece what I told him on the day after Donald John Trump was elected. Larry Cummins might have heard me, so I hope he watches this. We all used to be like groundhogs, showing up at untie to launch at 7. What a beautiful course. Hi to Michael, my caddy. Howard stole him. No, he didn't. Howard's a great man. He has his own driver, Howard Schwartz. Lives in Darwin. This man had a big house in the mountains overlooking. He had one in the coast near the airport. And God love him, he did wear a beret a lot. Lovely daughter. She's in the hotel industry. His wife, as I understand, kind of kept him isolated near the end. That's his home up in the mountains. There he is on the water. Relaxed. Golfer again. Just enjoyed life. Robert is there too. And Randy. There's the man. All right, watch this. The drink of the day. So, just to remind you, I told the late Don Kennedy in the Philippines, right after Trump was elected, that he was going to get shot in the head. Now, I didn't know his high self was going to tilt out of the way of the guy from Zaradia who occupied the body. I'm going to leave this as part 1 because I've got a lot more JFK stuff to cover and I wanted this to flow nicely to a logical conclusion. Man, I just ate some chow that was pristine. Turns out I can cook. You know, the Italians, when you eat a big plate of lasagna and whop down some stuff, you let out a big ass belch and everyone says, man, that guy liked that food. But Harley Pasternak is a nutritionalist and he hypnotized Jane Fonda, or picked her up. I mean, shit, she's older than him. She was married to Ted Turner. He was the investor in the Georgia Guidestones that Indigo Angel took out just by reading about it and walking away. She learned about the Guidestones and problems and then walked away, and you just saw her float. So more to come. Peace. A scene way, truth, and back screen of death come from nobody. Oh.
Dad, you answer also. Okay, Ivanka, what's the favorite thing you have in common with your father?
Either real estate or golf.
Donald, with your daughter?
Well, I was going to say sex, but I can't relate that.